Okay, perfect. Now I'm live, and today is a very special day because today is day number 10 trying to make $1 million. Is Messi number. So it's a special day, bro. It's Messi number 10, bro. And also, there are only 56 days left to make $1 million. So today we're gonna continue with Alex Hormozzi blueprint because there's a lot of information that I need in order to make $1 million, bro. I need to continue learning, continue improving, continue trying, continue fighting, bro, and also continue posting videos every single day. I need to be consistent. Simon Squibb said that I need to be consistent in order to make $1 million. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm real tired, but no matter. Who cares? Who cares, bro? So I'm I will try to make $1 million. So today is day number 10, and I need to learn as much as possible, bro. So Alex Hormozzi blueprint. Alex Hormozzi's blueprint have a lot of information, and I know that it's very powerful. In the past streams, we saw how to them to buy with the closer, clarity, label, overview, sell the vacation, explanation, and reinforce the decision. That's the closer, bro. And the three pillar pitch, and also we saw know who know who you are. The no, wait, what? You need to know who you are, and you need to know your avatar also. Also, you first need to know who you are and who you are selling to. So you need to know your specific avatar for your business, for your product, and the pain, profession, passion. And one important thing that Simon and Alex said, I don't know if it was Simon or was Alex, but one of them said, probably you saw someone like you or something similar to that. So, mm, we're going to continue. I'm going to put the counter because today we have 70 subscribers, bro. Yo, I want 70 subscribers for today, and I have 70 subscribers. I wanted 70 subscribers for today. Yesterday I was like, please 70 subscribers, and right now I have 70 subscribers. So I'm really tired, but who cares, bro? Who cares? I need to continue fighting for my dreams, and we're going to continue with Alex Hormozzi's blueprint, bro. So I'm going to share a screen. Okay, perfect. Okay, now you see me. Perfect. We're going to continue with Alex Hormozzi's blueprint. So it's very powerful this video, bro. Very powerful because Alex Hormozzi gave us tips when you go in a call with another business owners or with your customer and what to do. He teaches us what to do in that case, okay, and how we can get them closer to the sale, bro. How to get them to buy, bro. That's the important thing. How to get them to buy. So, I need this is a pen, bro. Simple as that. And why is important? Because you need to take notes. Taking notes is one of the most important things. And you need to take notes in order to apply what you are learning, because I'm not just want to learn, I want to apply what I'm learning. So learn, apply, learn, apply, learn, apply. That's the trick. And if I want to make $1,000,000, I need to apply what I'm learning, bro. So yesterday we saw a video about trading, but before apply that knowledge, I need to have more clarity about trading, because I have a little knowledge about trading. I don't know so much about trading. For me, it's very confusing, and I was like, I don't have idea what I'm doing. I have no fucking idea what I'm doing right now, bro. And that was the problem. That was the problem. So I need to understand more about the candles and all that stuff before I can start with trading. So we're going to continue with Alex Hormoz's blueprint. So wait me a minute. Okay, perfect. Okay. Perfect.
One of the things they've done is they've also limited supply. So they basically, I went there, it's a beautiful gym, it's like $1,000 a month for it, and they're like, we don't have this space right now.
Yeah.
But put you on the waiting list.
Yeah.
And then a few days later they ring up and say, someone's just left. But do you want it now?
Yeah.
And that's actually a brilliant, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. So limiting supply is another element.
Oh yeah, great.
I hope you're enjoying the podcast of Alex. I've just written a book, guys. It's taken me 35 years to get all this knowledge, and I put it all in here. It will help you remove any subconscious bias you have for stopping you from starting your dream. The key in this book that I want you to learn is, if you want your dream to happen, you've got to make other people's dreams happen first. The link is down in the description. It would mean a lot to me if you bought it.
One of the things that Simon always said is like, help others to achieve their dreams. So that's one of the things that I'm trying to do. Help others to achieve their dreams. How inspiring them, and also teaching them, giving free knowledge, bro. And all I have learned about business and all the courses I had paid for all that information, the courses that I paid. I learn a lot in the courses, but I want to give all that information that I pay for free, bro, because I can help others that way. And I think that information must be free, because you can also find all that information in YouTube for free also. But the problem is, I bought a lot of courses, and at the end I paid $1,000 courses, bro. Didn't worth it, bro. Didn't worth it. But no problem, bro. I will give that information for free, bro. So today, okay. Simon was speaking that you need to make other people's dreams happen first in order to achieve your dream. So that's my way to help others achieve their dreams. For now, I'm not giving a lot of knowledge for free, because I'm starting in all this, and first I need to make get people into my journey first. And when the people are with me in this journey, in that moment, when I create a community, so in that moment I can give a free value. I can start giving more free value. But for now, my okay, bro. I forget the name of that. My main priority, my priority, because priority means that you only have one. Most people say, okay, I have these priorities, but priority means that you have only one, bro. Only one. I saw that in Alex Hormozzi video, in one of Hormozzi's video, I guess. I'm not sure. But one thing is that you need to have priorities. Or priority or a priority. And my priority right now is to create a community. So I'm starting with videos talking about my project and this journey. But my plan is to give more free value. I need to give more free value, and that's what I will start to do in order to grow my community, bro. So that's why I will do, bro, in order to grow my community. But for now, we're going to continue watching this video, bro.
All the proceeds from this book I'm giving away to fund dreams, so please buy it if you can. Now let's get back to the episode of Alex. All right, next, because that was awesome.
So how many times they buy? So now we want to get them to obviously.
So please buy it if you can. Now let's get back to the episode of Alex.
One important thing what Simon teaches was you can sell something if you in your video if you make a really good video. We learned that in day number 365 or day number 364. So day number 2 we learned that you can sell something in your video and people will be like, okay, it's okay, no problem, I don't have problem with that, and your video is not like a selling video, but only if you make a very good video, bro. That's very important.
Next, because that was awesome.
So how many times they buy? So now we want to get them to obviously buy again, because I think Dan Kennedy said this, and I just love this quote. He says, you don't get customers to make sales. You make sales to get customers. And so the idea is that once you have a customer, then you want to get them to buy as many times as humanly possible. And so at this point, there's so many things that you can do to make a business make more money, right? And so you've got...
Get this out of the way again.
Oh, you're good. Yeah. So one is that you can increase the price of whatever you have. I'm just talking about 8 different ways that you can make more money to get them, just basically make more money from any customer. So one is that you can just charge more. The second is that you decrease the cost. Basically make more money from any customer. So one is that you can just charge more. The second is that you decrease the cost of whatever you sell. So if you have a service, you can either pay people less, that's usually not the right idea, but you can improve the service ratio of how many customers to. The second is that you decrease the cost of whatever you sell. So if you have a service, you can either pay people less, that's usually not the right idea, but you can improve the service ratio of how many customers to every rep. You can add tech in order to make their jobs easier. You can go offshore, things like that. The next one is you ask them to buy again. So you just do this times 2. You say, hey, you have that thing. Do you want to buy more of that thing you just bought? One of my favorite upsells ever. The next one is that you can get continuity, which is you say buying, which I see this as a quantity. This one as they're buying once and then there's a delay and then a day. So this is a quantity. Then you've got quality, which is, do you want to buy a better version of the thing that you have? Then we have downsells. So it's like, hey, and this one, it's like, wait, how is this going to make me more money? So downsells make you more money in that if you turn a no into a yes. And so, okay, you don't want to buy hey, and this one, it's like, wait, how is this going to make me more money? So downsells make you more money in that if you turn a no into a yes. And so, okay, you don't want to buy the normal burger. Do you want to buy a junior burger? Do you want to buy a smaller one? Do you want to just buy the burger, not the other stuff? Okay. Then we've got cross sells, where you sell something different. So I'll go through this whole example real quick, but with a burger store because everyone can understand it. So I can take my burger and make it more expensive. I can lower the cost of each burger for myself. I can get them to buy 2 burgers. I can get them to come back again to buy another burger or put them on a burger subscription. So this would be through like
Okay, at this point, I need a product, bro. Because if I want $1 million, I need to sell a product. So my plan is to launch a shoes brand. But what do I need to do to launch that shoes brand, bro? So because if I never start that shoes brand, I only speak about that shoes brand. When do I will finally launch that shoes brand, bro? So for that, my task for tomorrow are first contact with the people that could give me information because I need to produce that shoes or buy them or and then put them the logo or something like that, and I need to know how to import them and all that stuff. So in order to start a shoes brand, what do I need to do? That's my first task. So, task for tomorrow is to ask the correct people about the information that I need in order to start that shoes brand. So, for tomorrow, I will be calling people that could give me that information to start my shoes brand in order to make $1 million, bro. So, the second thing I need to know is what type of shoes I'm going to sell. So basketball shoes, or for running or something like that. So second task is looking for that information, bro. And the third task is what else I need? Probably other need I need to know is the cost, importation cost, the cost of the shoes, production, um, that stuff, bro. I need to know all the cost in order to launch that shoes brand. So I will investigate about that. I will search for that information, and for tomorrow, I hope for tomorrow's stream I will have that information. I already have that information. So that are my tasks for tomorrow in order to start selling a physical product. Yesterday, I need also to DM more business owners offering my marketing service, bro, and that can give me money, bro. And with that money, I can invest in more videos, better videos, and also I need to continue creating. For tomorrow, other task is to start, not to start because I already started, but to continue recording for the long format video for the next week because I need more subscribers and I need to give the best piece of content I can create, bro. I only want to give them the best content possible, bro. The best content. So I want to be number one in YouTube. One day I'll be better than you, Mr. Beast. You hear me, bro? I will be better than you. So be prepared, bro. So I need that information and I need to record videos. That's what I'm going to do in order to make $1 million. And the other need I need to do is continue learning, bro. Continue learning. And I'm tired, but today I post a new short, bro. So I post that new short. So was difficult, and I record also 2 more shorts. So I need to continue creating without failing any single day, bro. I can't fail. Bro. I made myself a promise that I will go live every single day, and also I will post every single day. So that are my tasks for tomorrow. Post a videos, search for that information to launch my shoes brand, and continue recording for the new long format video, another film about who am I? Bro, who am I? So that's the question, bro.
Follow
Good
up.
idea for a business idea. Burger subscription business.
Why not?
In and
Yeah.
Out should do that.
Yeah, what are they?
And that's very important because in the one of the past streams that we saw, that we watched, Alex in the first point of this blueprint speaks about know who you are. So with that video that I will post, I will know who am I, bro. So yo, that's okay.
Did you eat it there today? It's great.
Not today.
Okay.
We have
There's
had
no
way
sugar.
too many.
There's no
yeah, I'm
sugar.
sure. Yeah, I don't know what's in it, but it's not sugar. I don't think it's meat either, but anyway.
You could have you can increase the quality of the meat. You say, oh, this is mystery meat burger. You can have sirloin, burger that's ground up.
Mystery meat.
Yeah, we can go lower quantity. So this is making it smaller. Oops, sorry, that's quantity. There you go. And then you can lower the quality. All right. Now I don't like saying lower quality, but it's a more economical.
HP, this is a HP strategy for all their printers. They start off as really good printers that never break, don't need an ink cartridge,
Yeah.
and they reduce the quality so you need ink cartridges and you need the faster one, not the slower one.
Yeah.
They make it slower so you want to buy the faster one.
And so you get the smaller burger, so you have less. Or you go from regular meat to just completely questionable, like, what is this thing? Or you say, okay, what are the cross sells? Well, do you want fries with your burger? Do you want a drink with your burger? And so those are basically the 8 ways that you can get a customer to buy more stuff. And so the whole process, though, especially if you're doing a cross sell, which is very common in terms of what people are thinking about selling next, is that there's a problem solution cycle that exists in business, which is that if you
And that's the method that cinemas use. They sell you the ticket to go to the cinema, but they also sell you food. So popcorn, bro. They sell you popcorn, and they make more money, bro.
problem solution cycle that exists in business, which is that if you actually solve a problem with whatever you do, you also create another problem. So all solutions create more problems, all problems create solutions. And so if you do accurately solve it, so let's say let's say someone has the burgers and all that stuff. Well, once someone's full, then I created a dessert problem, right? Which I can solve, with my milkshake or my ice cream cones or whatever, right? Just to use the very simple example. But if I solve the traffic to someone's site, then the next thing they're going to need help with is sales. The next thing they're going to need help with is delivery. There's always going to be something else that's going to happen. If you help someone lose 20 pounds, the next thing they're going to want is they're going to want to tone up, or they're going to want new clothes. There's a ton of things that happen as a result. But there's another piece that I'll bring up here, which is something that I have learned over and over again, which is that people enter hyper buying cycles. And so let's say that I sign up for a marathon, right? If I decide I'm going to start a marathon, and then I go to the shoe store, the running shoe store, and I say, hey, I want some running shoes. If that business owner, it's like, well, they just bought the running shoes. I don't want to scare them away. I don't want to seem too salesy. Well, what are they going to do? They're like, well, I still need the iPod thing for my shoulder, so that when I'm running, I need new tank tops. I need running shorts. I got to have the app that tracks my progress, whatever it is, right? And I've got to have those gels that I don't know, whatever marathon runners eat. Yeah. But the thing is that if you don't sell it, they're going to buy it, just not from you. And all of that's going to happen.
Okay, and that's also a good advice for me. If I want to start a shoes brand, depending of which type of shoes I want to sell, I can sell something else. Probably shoes for dancing. I don't know. A special type of shoes for dancing. Probably I can sell a shirt with a cool style or something like that. I don't know, bro. Is what Simons is speaking about. I'm sorry, bro. Alex is speaking about, bro. you can sell something else. Very good advice from Alex. Okay, I can sell something else, bro. Thank you so much, Alex Ormosi. Thank you so much for that information. And it's true, if you don't sell that, the people will get that, but not from you.
If you don't sell it, they're going to buy it, just not from you. And all of that's going to happen in a very short time cycle. They're going to make the decision, I'm now a marathon runner, and so I need to get all the stuff associated with that. You buy a pet, there's a zillion things you buy. You go to a wedding, there's a zillion things you buy. Like whenever someone makes a decision to enter it, like basically they have a new identity that then associates with whatever purchases they're going to make, they enter this cycle where they just buy lots of stuff. And you want to be there right at that moment to make that next offer again and again and again. And offers are only bad if you present it at the wrong time or it's not a need. And so that's why we don't try and and offers are only bad if you present it at the wrong time or it's not a need. And so that's why
Is not in it. Okay, perfect.
we don't try and sell them. We make the offer. We present it. If they're not into it, no big deal. And so that
one of the things that we learned in one of the past streams was that we need to solve first the idea, not the product. First the idea. Once they have in their minds that idea, you can proceed to sell them the product, bro, or the service, or whatever you sell, bro. And what's very important.
that's at least how I think through upselling and getting more out of every customer.
Nike stores do this so well. You know, they put the socks on the way out to checkout, right?
Okay.
They put the gels
right.
and all that stuff. And brand plays such an
quality of this video. Okay. Perfect.
important role in this because once you've got trusted, then people want to buy from you because they know, your shoes are good quality. Well, your tops are probably good quality. Your socks are probably good quality. Your armband's going to be good to put my iPhone in. And so, who helps you? Isn't that next?
Yeah.
Who helps you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Who helps you? That's it. Who helps? By the way, we have a platform that helps people. It's the hardest thing we've noticed for people to actually ask for help. People love giving help. That's the shocking thing. But people don't ask for
Interesting.
help. But what's your take on it?
Okay.
So who helps you?
People don't ask for help. So Simon, I need help. Alex, I need help, bro. I need help. I started a YouTube channel and I'm not growing, bro. I'm trying my best. I need help, bro. I need help. Please, I really need help, bro. I really need help, bro. Okay, watch me. I really need help. And also from you guys, please subscribe, bro. We are right now 70 subscribers. You can see the counter in the right or left corner. I'm not sure. This corner, the right corner for me. Probably the left corner for you. So subscribe, bro. Subscribe. Please subscribe. And I need help, bro. I really need help to make to make this possible, bro. To make $1 million in just 1 year. I only have 1 year to make $1 million, bro. To fight for my dreams, bro. So I'm doing all I can humanly possible, kind of streaming, posting every single day, study, learning. I learn a lot and apply. And I'm trying my best, and I edit videos, and I record videos, and I write the script, and all of that. I'm trying my best, and I look for more information, and I write new ideas, and I try to apply that ideas into reality and all of that. And I really need help. But I'm sure I'm going to make $1 million in just 365 days. I'm sure.
So the way that I think about this is you have 4 ways you can let other people know about stuff, right? So you've got one-on-one, and then you got one-to-many. It's people who know you and people who don't. And so one-on-one to people who know you is warm outreach. So you just text your friends, you DM people, you email, you call, whatever. You've got one-to-many to people who know you, which is posting content. Like you make a post to your Facebook page and you send many to people who know you. You DM people who know you is warm outreach. So you just text your friends, you DM people, you email, you call, whatever. You've got one-to-many to people who know you, which is posting content. Like you make a post to your Facebook page and you say, hey, this is what's going on in my life. One-to-one to people who don't know you is cold outreach. So that's cold calling, cold emailing, cold whatever. And then you've got one-to-many to people who don't know you, which is paid ads. And so you've got one-to-many to people who don't know you, which is paid ads. And so these are the only 4 things that any one person can do to let just paid ads. And so you've got, so that's cold calling. Say, hey, this is what's going on in my life. One-to-one to people who don't know you is cold outreach. So that's cold calling, cold emailing, cold whatever. And then you've got one-to-many to people who don't know you, which is paid ads. And so these are the only 4 things that any one person can do to let other people know about their stuff.
You can talk at events here too, the similar things.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
totally.
Yeah.
And so once we know this is how we advertise to anything to get customers. Then it's like, okay, well, we do the exact same process to get employees. And so you need a team that's going to help you. And so in the beginning, a lot of times you start by reaching out to people you know and saying, hey, friends, family, do you want to help me with my business? Mm-hmm. And then you probably make a post and say, hey, I'm hiring. Anybody who knows anybody, please make the introduction. And then you start running ads on job boards and saying, hey, I've got this great thing. Please apply. It's great. And then when you get more advanced, you start headhunting and you start looking for people. It's great. And then when you get more advanced, you start headhunting. And you start looking for people who are really good at that thing. And these are typically, in my experience, these are the highest value and the hardest. But it's just like the sales that you made with Apple. It's like these people, sometimes it takes 2-3 years to get that one killer on your team, but that person can just build an entire division or an entire department and just continue to scale. And so it's basically taking the same concept that you have with advertising to get customers and applying it to employees. Now, I have another framework if you're good with it.
Yeah, please.
So you've got lead gen, how you get customers, right? And then you've got nurture, and you've got sales, and you've got onboarding, and then you've got retention slash ascension. All right, so you retain them and you upsell them. Okay, cool. A lot of people, at least in business, understand this pipeline, but they don't know. And then you've got sales, and you've got onboarding, and then you've got retention slash ascension. All right, so you retain them and you upsell them. Okay, cool. A lot of people, at least in business, understand this pipeline, but they don't know that they already have. A lot of people, at least in business, slash ascension. All right, so you retain them and you upsell them. Okay, cool. A lot of people, at least in business, understand this pipeline, but they don't know that they already have all the skills. Just like all the things that you do to currently cut customers, you already have the skills to advertise to get people to help you out. And so then all this is just application generation, which you use the same core 4 that we just went through. Nurture is the same, is that you should be nurturing. So fun fact, so Layla might have shared it yesterday, but A candidates take on average 8 days to find a job, and B candidates and below take 30 days plus. And so if your process of getting someone from the first engagement to getting hired takes longer than that, then you're by definition getting B players and below. Wow. Now, I'll say my only exception to that is if you're hiring C-level and up, it just takes a very long time, but you want to make sure that the communication is still rapid between those things.
They'll probably make a decision quite quickly. They might have a notice period that's longer, but they might still make a quick decision.
And so the application nurture here is that a lot of smaller businesses they should be honored to work for me. They should be calling me. I'm going to put 100 steps of friction. It's like, well, okay, you're just going to get fewer applicants.
Or like you say,
Yeah.
won't get A players. You won't
Yeah,
get
a
B
lot
players.
of they just don't want to deal with it. And so sales, this is the interview. And so a lot of people are like, well, tell me why. They just don't want to deal with it. And so sales. This is the interview. And so a lot of people are like, well, tell me why you should work for me. That really only works for low-level individual people. At a certain level, you're selling them just as much on why they should work for you as they are on them. And that comes with talent, because the higher the level of the talent, the more options they have. They don't, I'm not saying, yeah, I know you know, but I'm just saying.
No, it's so this thing, I don't want people to miss it, because a lot of people don't understand when they're recruiting, they're selling. And I've worked personally so hard to get good people. Like, it's the hardest job, selling. And I've worked personally so hard to get good people. Like, it's the hardest job.
Oh, bro, internet connection, bro. What's happening, bro? Wait a minute. Please wait. Be patient, bro. Okay, I don't know what's happening. I will reload the page. Okay, no! Another ad. Bro, why? Why another ad? Automatics of work creator. Okay.
People. At a certain level, you're selling them just as much on why they should work for you as they are on them. And that comes with talent, because the higher the level of the talent, the more options they have. They don't, I'm not saying, yeah, I know you know, but I'm just saying.
No, it's so this thing, I don't want people to miss it, because a lot of people don't understand when they're recruiting, they're selling. And I've worked personally so hard to get good people. Like, it's the hardest job.
Oh, totally.
And people don't apply a sales process to it.
I think it's the most valuable.
They sit back and say, well, tell me where you're going to be in 5 years, or why you're good for my company. And people just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Good people are like, well, why should I be here?
Yeah, right. Why should I spend my next 5 years here?
Totally.
And onboarding is the same. You onboard employees the same way. After someone takes the job, they accept the offer, they sign the paperwork. It's like, great, now we have the onboarding. Here's all the passwords. This is what it's going to look like. And typically, I think people do this backwards, which is they basically bring people on and say, good luck. Whereas the more work you do up front, the less work is required over time in order to get someone to be proficient at whatever their work is.
Do you do a big onboarding?
Yeah, we're super big on onboarding.
Anything particularly on onboarding you think is really useful?
Honestly, it's just a lot of touch bases.
Right.
I mean, the first 2 weeks, they're probably like, managers usually meet twice a day, with new hires, just to say like, okay, what are you going to do today? At the end of the day, it's like, how to go, tell me about the conversations you had. And usually, especially, it depends on what level of, person's coming in. Anybody who's maybe director level and up, they're going to talk to all the directors across the departments. They're going to shadow a lot of people, because we want them to get a very good idea of a holistic understanding of the business, so they can understand where and why their work makes a big impact. And then finally, you have the exact same thing, which is retention and ascension, which is, how do I keep good talent? And then what's my career path for them, so they can see their vision of what it's going to look like in 5 years. It's like, listen, we're bringing you in a director, but long term, we'd love to have you as a CRO or a VP of this whole division or something like that. And these are the requirements. This is what you would have to do in order to move up there. And again, we try and define things by behaviors. So if you're doing all of these activities, then you will, by definition, be this role. And so our way of promoting, at least at acquisition.com, is we want people to just start doing the role, and then the title feels obvious, rather than, hey, I want that title. Okay, here's the plan. I'd rather you just go do the next role. And then everyone's like, well, yeah, he deserves the title. Like, so everybody else is already bought in because you're already doing the job anyways. And I think it's one of the biggest hacks, at least for those of you who are employees at a company. It's one of the best ways to move up.
Layla said yesterday, which I absolutely love, was growth.
Yeah.
Give people a chance to grow.
Okay, wait. I want to check one. Okay, bro.
Because that will
Should you
keep
join
them. Everybody I've ever lost in past companies has been because I didn't have a thing they could do next.
Yeah.
So this is a brilliant framework. Okay. Keep your advantage. All right.
How would you keep the advantage?
Well, I mean, I think for people is always a key part, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on the business. If it's a service business, like if it's a creative agency business, the people literally keep the client.
Yeah.
If so, that's one way. So you have to keep recruiting. Probably never ending. Most CEOs are permanently recruiting.
Yeah.
That's the main job, right? To keep an advantage. I personally think these days it's like, well, if you're not building a personal brand, you're going to lose.
Yeah, I actually think the brand piece is actually this. I think the keeping your advantage is the brand.
Yeah, okay.
And so if we think about the brand as a virtuous cycle, right? And so I kind of think about it like this, which is if we have different levels of communication. So this is you about you. So you say, we're great. And some people might believe you, some people might not. So let's just say you go and watch, Godzilla, the movie, or, you see an ad for Godzilla. You say, okay, it looks decent. Maybe I'll go see it, whatever. Then it's your friends. So your friend John sees it and he says, oh, it was a great movie, or oh, it was a terrible movie. This is going to weigh way more than whatever they said about themselves. And then finally, it's just you say. So you go see the movie and you have a good experience or a bad experience. And so what happens is that this person then becomes the friend for other people and either perpetuates the cycle of advertising for the business. And this is what
Okay, wait. Okay. Two friends. You say. Okay, bro.
and either perpetuates the cycle of advertising for the business. And this is what reinforces brand. And so at the end of the day, we can make whatever, we can reinforce this brand. And so at the end of the day, we can make whatever, we can have the most brilliant advertising campaign of all time, the best associations, the best celebrity endorsements. But as soon as people try the food or they try the product, they wear the shoes, if it's not good, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good all of that stuff is that you have to keep the edge. And I think that's where the connection between the brand. So it's like the brand makes a promise that remains the same more or less, but the way to keep the promise changes. And so it's like, we want to be so if Apple says we're going to have elegant, products that are well designed, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that promise has remained the same for many years, but the way they execute on that promise has to change, right? Because technology changes, there's new advancements in foam, so the shoes become lighter, they become better fitting. And so from an R&D perspective, what we did was that we actually had a whole R&D department at Gym Launch, the company that we sold. And what we did was I said, okay, here's your budget, and I want you to spend this money, no matter what, every month. And I just want you to spend it on solving our customers' biggest problems. So every month, you're going to give me a list of all the problems that they're saying they have, and I want you to try and weight them as how big is the problem and how many of them are suffering from the problem. And so we use a little format, which is, you might have seen this one before, which is, let's see, you've got impact. Got the expense. You've got the number of times, I can't remember what the R is. And then you've got confidence. This is reach.
Wait. Okay. Impact, confidence.
Let's see, you've got impact. Got the expense. You've got the number of times, I can't remember what the R is. And then you've got confidence. This is reach. And then you've got confidence. And so basically with the product, it's like, how many people are suffering from this thing? How much are they suffering? How likely is this solution going to solve the problem? And then how much does it cost us to do it? And so with that, we can basically create a power ranking of, okay, this thing is impacting a lot of these people. So this is a high priority issue, but we don't have any solutions that we're actually really confident about. Or we've got a solution that we're really confident about, but it's really expensive, right? And so this is where you basically factor all four of these things into your innovation cycle. So you say, okay, this is how we strategically prioritize our resources to get the best returns. And so if we think about what strategy is, Okay, so a lot of people.
And you need to know how to manage your money, because you can spend all your stuff in a link and then that thing didn't work or something like that. You need to know, okay, I can invest in that, I can put this part of the money in that thing, and probably it will work, probably it wouldn't, I don't know. But you need to be aware of what are your resources.
People use this word and no one really defines what it means. And so I'm going to define two words for the audience that I think will make a lot of sense. So strategy is just prioritization of resources. So when people are like, man, I really need a strategy, it's like, dude, it just means what are my priorities? That's all it is. And so if we think about the universe as having unlimited things that we could do,
Okay.
but
How can I apply that? How this apply to me? Okay. What are my resources right now? Okay, my time first, money, but I don't have money, bro. I only have $1. I'm poor. I'm sad. Okay. Who cares, bro? Who cares? Okay. And my time, and probably the content, because let me show you, because right here I have all the content that I already created, and that are my resources also. Okay, it's not working, no problem, but I have a list of scripts, and then I upload that videos, but I don't upload the same day I record the video. I don't upload to social media, but I have the video in a drive, and that are my resources. Okay, I have this video, I have 36 videos or something like that, and I need to post every single day. So I need to manage these videos so I can post every single day. How can I do that, bro? So I write the scripts, I record the videos, and I make a content calendar in which I decide, okay, I will post this video in this date, or probably in this date, or probably I will post this video in a month or 2 months. I don't know, but I make a content calendar in order to manage my videos. So when I will upload that video to social media. So my resources are my time, my videos, and also the money, probably. At some time I will have a lot of money, so I need to manage what's that money, bro.
we have limited resources, time, money, energy, effort, then the people who get the furthest in life are the ones who are the best at allocating those resources to get the most bang for the buck. And fundamentally, that's what the best strategists are. It's just this big amorphous word that people define in all sorts of ways, but that's all it is. And so then it's like, okay, well, if I'm going to prioritize my resources, I want to prioritize my resources in a way that provides the most value. And so for customers, I see value as this value equation, which I taught in the $100 Million Offers book, which is I see there's 4 variables to value. You've got the dream outcome, like is the thing they want, the need thing that you're referencing earlier. We've got perceived likelihood.
Okay, something's happening with the internet, bro. Oh, damn! No problem. Damn. Okay, no problem. Reload the page. Okay. Okay, please. Okay. What was the formula, bro? Okay.
Resources. I want to prioritize my resources in a way that provides the most value. And so for customers, I see value as this value equation, which I taught in the $100 Million Offers book, which is I see there's 4 variables to value. You've got the dream outcome, like is the thing they want, the need thing that you're referencing earlier. We've got perceived likelihood of achievement, which is if I buy this thing, how likely is it that I'm actually going to get what I want? And this was actually the last one that I added to this because I was like, there was a is it that I'm actually going to get what I want? And this was actually the last one that I added to this because I was like, there was another thing that felt like it was missing. You've got time delay, which is how long is it going to take between when I buy and when I get? And then I've got sacrifice and effort. So they're 2 sides of the same coin. Effort is what are the things that I have to start doing as a result of this purchase that I don't want to do? And what are the sacrifices? What are the things I'm going to have to stop doing that I wish I could keep doing? And so fundamentally, the goal here is you want to increase the dream outcome as much as humanly possible and increase their perceived likelihood. And you want to decrease the time delay and decrease the effort and sacrifice. And so in a perfect world, you'd have something that they click a button, they get their dream outcome absolutely guaranteed immediately by doing nothing. And if you had that, you'd have an infinitely valuable product. If you think about like, hey, buy a 6-pack. If someone could just simply click a button and then all of a sudden they could pull their shirt up and they would have a 6-pack.
Press that button right now.
Of course. Yeah. So many people would. And so and then because of that, we'd be able to charge a tremendous amount of money. And so by thinking through this, these things, in my opinion, will never change. People will always want things to be faster. People always want to do less for them. They will always want to have less risk or a higher perceived likelihood of achievement. And they want to make sure the thing is actually what they want. And so I obviously, I use fitness examples a lot because a lot of people understand it. But it's like, okay, let's say that someone wants to lose weight. Okay, that's the dream outcome. Well, then why is it that a PDF is $5 about how to lose weight and liposuction is 50 grand? Well, the other 3 variables. So if I think about the PDF, if I buy a $5 PDF, when I make the purchase, do I really believe that I'm immediately going to lose weight? Probably not. And so there's a huge discount that I'm going to put on the value of the PDF because I don't think I'm really going to do anything with it. Whereas liposuction, if I pay it, they're going to put me to sleep. They're going to rip this fat out. Right? Like, so the perceived likelihood of achievement is significantly higher on the liposuction. For time delay, it's like, okay, this one I might have to work out for a year in order to see the results. The liposuction, I go to sleep, I wake up, I'm thin. Much faster. And then effort and sacrifice. Well, I'm going to have to sacrifice, Taco Tuesdays, nights out with the girls. I'm going to have to sacrifice sleeping in. I can't do that anymore. Sacrifice my weekends. And the effort is I now have to wake up early. I have to eat food that I don't like. I'm going to have to be sore. I'm going to have to feel stupid because I don't know how to exercise. It's like there's a lot of cost with that compared to you just wake up and you didn't do anything. And so for that reason, one thing's $5 and the other thing's 50 grand. And so if we think through that, like there's many different things that solve losing weight, making more money, getting more leads. There's a ton of different things. But if you want to make sure that your thing's more valuable, you want to decrease the risk, which is increased perceived likelihood. You want to make it faster, decrease the time delay, and you want to make it easier.
This framework works so well. A case study like Blockbusters, they didn't keep their advantage. Because people wanted it quicker because going to Netflix. Originally, it was getting posted to them. Blockbusters didn't think people wanted it posted. They thought it was more convenient for people to go to a store and buy it. And so it was a less time delay. There was less sacrifice. Just press a button at home. People don't keep their advantage. They die like Blockbusters do. So you've got to keep thinking about how you can make this. This is a brilliant equation, by the way. I'm glad you went a bit deeper on it because I think a lot of people just talk about this top line, as you say. They don't think about the time delay and they don't think about the sacrifice element.
It's so funny you say that because the first half of my career, all I thought about was this.
I'm glad you're here with me, bro. Thank you so much, bro. We're watching Alex Hormozi Blueprint. We're learning about the blueprint and some tips that Alex Hormozi gave us to learn how to sell, basically. We already discussed different topics about how to get them to buy and the things that you must do when you go to a call with another business owner or something like that, and the tips that Alex Hormozi gave us. And right now we are discussing the point number 7, keep your advantage. So he's speaking about the brand and the promise and the innovation part, and something that he called RICE, RICE, number, impact, confidence, expense. And that the strategy, one of the important things that Alex talked about was the definition of a strategy. The definition of a strategy is prioritization of resources. And how that apply to me is that my resources right now are my time, my money, and my videos. Why my videos? Because I record my videos and I have a content calendar in which I decide, okay, I will post this video in this date or probably in a month or tomorrow, and all of that. And right now we're discussing that, bro. So
All I would do to me was this was promise and this is proof. So all I did was I had bigger promises, more proof, bigger promises, more proof. But if I look at the biggest companies in the world, all they focus on is this.
Totally.
Amazon's like, how do I make it easier? How do I make it faster? How to make it less effort for the person? And this part is usually where all of the operational effort goes in. This is all the marketing and sales.
Totally. Plus, this promise, if you make it too big, you damage your brand.
Oh, totally.
This is why this all links together.
Yeah.
Because if you're not careful, you want to get the big sale, and you
Yeah.
sell something you haven't actually got,
Yeah.
and then you're in real trouble. Right, next.
Stick with it.
Stick with it. Right.
This is a good one. Most of the best things in life happen. So we have this little orientation that we take our sales guys through, and so we show this line, and we say, okay, so this is you today, and this is you, later, and so this is your skill as a salesperson, and so this might be, 2
sorry having me here for a while. I didn't have time to join and come in. Hope you're doing good. I see you. 15 from yes, bro. Yes. Right now I have 70 subscribers, bro. It's amazing. And a part of subscribers, I get a part of subscribers from church, and today I get subscribers from live, but not from this live, but from previous live, bro. Was very interesting because I don't I I really think that people like to watch the live when I'm live right now. So, but people rewatch the videos and okay, then subscribe and comment a lot in the previous live, bro. It's very interesting because people are not live, but in the live, but they rewatch the previous live from yesterday or from day number 6, 5, or whatever, and it's very interesting because YouTube recommend that videos a lot, bro. My last live, let's check, bro. Let's check. Okay, wait. My last live was about trading, bro, because people want me to watch videos about trading and start in trading, but was very difficult because I was very confused, bro, and I was like, okay, I don't understand this specific topic and I need to search for more videos and try to understand. It was very confusing because I don't have information about trading. That was my first time learning about trading and was switch. Wait a minute. My previous live got 30 views. Okay, you're basically investing in the market right now, and you invest in something. You can invest in Bitcoin or something like that, and then you sell that thing in which you invest, but at a higher price, bro. And you buy and you sell. You buy, you sell. You buy, you sell. That's basically what you are doing all the time. And you need to study the market, bro. The reviews and my most viral life is right now this one, day number 3, with 237 views. But in this point, I have no viewers at this live. Like the stock in the markets, yes, it's something like that, bro. You can say a lot, but it's okay. It's okay because I only have 70 subscribers. And the second most watched stream was this one, the 364. And right now we are on day 356, day number 10. 356 days left, bro, to make $1 million. And to be honest, it's very hard, bro, because posting every single day is not as easy as it seems, bro. It's very difficult because all the day I'm recording videos, then I need to edit that videos and post that videos, and I have, for some reason, I have a lot of problems with YouTube because I upload that video on TikTok, Instagram, and that's okay. But when I try to upload the same video on YouTube, I have copyright issues, bro. You can make it in a year. That should be a good amount of time. Yes, bro. Right now we have 356 days left to make my dreams a reality. I'm still fighting, and one interesting thing is that I'm planning to launch a shoes brand, bro. I'm planning to launch a shoes brand in the future, probably in 3 months, and I hope that helped me a lot to make $1 million, bro. Because I need to find other ways to make $1 million, not only with YouTube, but also in many other ways, bro. YouTube takes a ring copyright, yet no matter what it is, I've been copyrighted on about 10 of my videos. That's a lot, bro. That's a lot. I have a lot of problems with copyright because of music, and it's very hard to find music that is okay for YouTube, because when I search for music and I really like this music for my video and I upload that video in YouTube, then I have copyright issues, and that's very stressing. But it's okay.
2 weeks in, and this might be 2 months in, and this might be 6 months in, and so you're like, 6 months, I'm almost at the top. It's like, yeah, well, let's move this up a little bit. My drawing's a little broken. And let's say this is 3 years. So you're like, I'm only going to make this tiny bit of improvement between 6 months and 3 years. Yeah. And the thing is, though, is that your income's going to look like this.
Yeah.
And so it's going to basically not change much at all. And then at the very end is where you're going to get, because this little difference, the difference between number 2 in the world and number 1, practically for running, is 1/10 of a second. Mm-hmm. But the difference between number 1 in the world and number 2 is everything. And so all of the best gains come at the very end of the compounding. It comes from the very deep knowledge that only comes from repeating many failures in a very narrow field. And so it's actually one of my favorite definitions for an expert, somebody who's made more mistakes than anyone else in a very narrow field.
So how do people stick with it, though? Because, I mean, social...
Kevin MacLeod. All of his songs are most free. Okay. Thank you so much, bro. Kevin MacLeod. Okay, thank you so much for that information, bro. I will try to use his songs, bro.
It's a great example. First 3 years I did social media, I made no money. It probably cost me £1 million.
Yeah.
So it's only in the last year and a half I've actually started to be able to make money and be able to pay the team and all the rest of it. So
Yeah.
I look at it as a purpose thing, right? I'm trying to fix the education system. It's broken. It should be teaching the skills that you and I are trying to give people for free. How do people stick with it? What do you think is the formula there?
So I'm gonna go back to something that I said at the very beginning. So if motivation is equal to deprivation, you need to feel deprived of something. And so in the examples I gave, so, if you're starving, you're hungry. If you're sleepy, if you're exhausted, you're motivated to sleep. But money doesn't work the same way. Because if you take that logical extreme and say, okay, well then all poor people should be more motivated to make money than anything. And the reality is
I can try to use his music, bro. I will try.
they're not. So why is that? So because all the ones that I first said are all physiological needs. The other one is completely made up. Money is only in terms of humanity, it's a very new thing, right? And so it's a psychological construct. And so the idea is that the deprivation actually is completely made in our own minds. And so, Harvard at least did this study, which is they talk about your reference group, which is the biggest predictor of people's long-term financial well-being is their reference group, and this is important, is that it's the 5 people you compare yourself to, not the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I think that's a huge difference. And so I had this little tweet that kind of went like viral or whatever, but you want to take advice not from the people who are closest to you, but the people who are closest to your goals. Take advice from them.
Okay, that's true, bro. That's true. That's why I'm taking advice from Alex and Simon. Just okay, I hope you will be able to find some music to use. By the way, do you know if you... Yes, if you use a copyright song, you have a lot of problems and limit YouTube. What YouTube does is limit your video to a certain audience, to certain regions. So that's a very huge problem if you want more views, bro. So YouTube limit a lot your video, bro. And sometimes you got a strike. And that's a very huge problem, bro. But for now, I don't have any strikes, bro.
And people are like, oh yeah, I'll take advice from them. But when you're about to make a big life-changing decision, who do you talk to? If you're talking to the people closest to you,
probably that's the problem, bro. Probably. You can use an app called Artlist. And with Artlist, you can find free music without copyright, bro. So Artlist, it's called Artlist, the app.
Them have relevant experience. And if you don't want their lives, then definitely don't listen to what they say, right? And it's very hard because that's what makes it feel so lonely, I think, in the beginning, because you have no one to talk to. And so that's why I'm such a big believer in heroes and mentors. So mentors are people who actually interact with you, but heroes are just like, what would Warren Buffett do? Some people are religious. What would Jesus do? Whatever your thing is, right? Like, who's that idea? And sometimes, one of my phrases is like, what does the ideal version of me do? What's the person I want to become do? And all of it is, again, around doing. Because if I do those things, like, I might not be a patient person, but if I pretend to be patient for 5 years, people start calling me patient. I might actually be patient because all I did was patient things, even though I don't feel patient, right? And so it's like, we can change basically how we feel, and what we do don't need to be connected at all. So you can feel horrible and still do things and be kind. And people, like, you can feel like a very nasty person because of the things that you think and the things that you want to do. But as long as you don't do them, then the only thing the world will ever judge you on, or at least the only thing that I would ever judge you on, is what you do. And so it's like, okay, motivation, deprivation. So back to this. So in my opinion, I've always struggled with this question the most because it's never been an issue for me. And I think, and that's why it's one of the hardest things that I have to translate to somebody else. So everything that I have is more around, how do I translate how I see it more than this was the series of steps I followed to become motivated. I was so afraid of failing and being deprived, right? I was so deprived of respect, or at least how I perceived it, not continuing was just never a choice. And I always used to think when I was like, the earliest days of the gym was really tough for me. I was sleeping on the floor, you know, all the whole story, right? And it sounds cool in retrospect, but when it's like you're sleeping on the floor of a gym because you can't afford 2 places, and you know, if you've got kids that
I want to record a video for my channel. I'll be back later with name maybe. Have a good night and I hope you learn some stuff. Thank you so much, Pixel. Thank you. Good luck with your YouTube video. It's a short or it's a long format video, bro. But good luck, bro. Keep going, just keep going. Keep creating, bro.
same age as you who are partying on the rooftop of your gym, because it was below a parking garage is where my gym was. So there's this parking garage, with like these cars would drive over the top.
Sure, bro. Okay, interesting. See you later, bro. Good luck.
I was like, and it was concrete and metal, so it sounded like a gunshot, and it would happen all night long. So I couldn't sleep. But I'd have to wake up at 4 to teach the 4:30 class, and I taught all the classes, so I taught 8 classes a day. But then I also ran the whole business. I had 0 employees, so I did all the billing, I cleaned it, I fixed the equipment, I marketed and got leads, I did everything. I didn't know that employees were a thing. That's why I have it as one of the steps. I had no idea. And so the thing is that whenever it would be really hard for me, I would always think to myself, as long as I don't quit, I win.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, if I just keep going, I just have to survive. And so just kind of approaching it from that perspective, because the more painful thing was the idea of going home a failure. And I just couldn't do it. I was like, I would rather die. And I think thinking through like past human experiences, which is, okay, across all the globe, slavery has happened everywhere. Mm-hmm. And slaves for their entire lives, for thousands of years, had to work all day, every day, and they had no opportunity. They had to work all day, every day, but there was no upside. They just had to work all day, every day, or they die or get killed or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, if they can do it with no upside, I can absolutely do it with the chance that I can win. Mm-hmm. And I think seeing business as an infinite game is what was a huge perspective shift for me, which was there is no number one in business. And this was something that was like really like, it's for anybody who's listening to this, I think it's powerful to understand, is that if I were to say, hey, who's the richest man in the world 30 years ago? There's a couple Japanese guys, because the Japanese economy was booming at that time. Now no one even knows who they are. And that was just 30 years, forget 500 years. And so the thing is the number one guy in the world at business, if you want to measure it by net worth, which whatever, but even if you did, it's like that guy just touches the top for a decade, and then someone else touches the top. And so when we say, I want to be successful, success is about sticking with it. And so the only way that you become a failure in business is by stopping. And so all the infinite games, like all the games
okay, I remember again the quote that says by Alex Hormozy. No, was by Dan Mortal. I'm not sure. Okay, one of these two guys said one time, winners lose more than losers, bro. So you need to keep going, bro. Even if you fail, you can try again until you finally win. So winners lose more than losers.
Playing in life, in my opinion, are all infinite. So it's not about getting married. It's about staying married. It's not about getting in shape. It's about staying in shape. It's not about starting a business. It's about staying in business. And the only thing that gets you out of business is you choosing to stop. And I think that's a very powerful frame, because it puts it 100% in your control. And so as long as you keep trying, you're still in business. And I think a lot of people give up so much. They give up just on the idea of a negative comment or some snide remark from a friend of theirs, or their dad or their brothers, makes them trying to feel stupid for taking a risk that they were unwilling to take. And I think that's bullshit. And so
yes, a lot of people stop because get a lot of bad comments, get stupid comments that then who cares about that comments. I remember that one time I received a comment that a guy that told me that it's impossible to make $1 million in just 1 year. And I was like, please, okay, thank you so much for your comment, but don't tell me that I can't, bro. Because I'm sure that I can, bro. I just need to keep going. But if you're telling me that I can't, please don't tell me that I can't. I'm sure that I can, bro. And I will keep going. Keep going, bro. Never stop. It's about never stopping, bro. Continue fighting even when things aren't working at first. If you keep going, then you will see results.
Anyways, motivation comes from deprivation. And so at least my number one rule for entrepreneurship is use what you've got. And so a lot of times there's a lot of social media stuff. I don't think there's anything wrong with it that talks about like find your passion, find your purpose, find the thing that you love. And I think that's great. But if I were to go back in time, I can say that now from this lovely, position that I have. Mm-hmm. But when I started, my first business, I wasn't doing it because it was something I was passionate about. It was not this like sunshine and rainbows. It was miserable. And I had a lot of shame and a lot of anger. And so I didn't feel any of the butterflies, but that's what I had.
What was Alex Hormozzi's first business model? What was the first business model that he tried? I'm curious about that. Let me search for it. Alex Hormozzi first business. Also, most of his business was open a fitness center in Huntington Beach, California, using 50,000 he saved quickly. He grew his business by using Facebook advertising to gain members and is then expanding to multiple locations. Okay, it was a business, bro. Was a business about gyms, bro. What's a gym, bro? Okay, I'm tired.
And so it's like, I think you just use what you got. And if you need shame to get you going, if you need anger to get you going, then that fuel can change over time. But wishing you had a different fuel, I think, is what gets people in trouble. I think that's what stops a lot of people. Like, I should feel this. It's like you should nothing. It just shouldn't exist. It's just, what do you have? Then what are you going to do? And I'll say the last piece is, there are trade-offs. And I think being able to name the price of the things that you want is super valuable.
Yeah.
Which is like, the cost of fame, for example, is privacy. Mm-hmm. You don't get that anymore. And the cost of you starting a business is, for me, it was like, I stopped being able to follow the football team that I used to follow. Mm-hmm. I stopped being in fantasy leagues with my friends. I stopped being able to go out to, the bar and drink and things like that. So there was a cost. Mm-hmm. And so the thing was just like, am I willing to pay that or trade that for this thing that I want most? And I think for some people, maybe you don't want that. Mm. And I think the thing is like, and that's okay. But I think the problem is where you want to have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
I want to have the six pack, but I also want to have cake. I want to, I want to.
Well, you have dessert and you've got a six pack.
Yeah. Well, you got to learn how to play the game. Yeah. But it's people aren't willing to make the trade.
I think that is time, because this whole project, living with that, requires a lot of time. So the president pain is time, bro, because it's not easy to go live every single day. Like 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours is very hard. And also I record videos, so it's my time, bro.
And I think that just comes down to the very bottom of everything. Like when I wanted to, there was a period where I wanted to get into Harvard's business school when I'd done 2 years of consulting, and that was what I thought was going to be my path. But I'm always very grateful for them, because on one of the application questions they had was, how will a Harvard MBA help your short and long-term goals? And I thought about it for like 3 days, and I realized that, well, I wanted to start a business. And so me start doing another 2 years of school, I could just start a business. Like that was the goal. And so I'm grateful that they asked me that question. But before I ended up getting to the application, I spent 4 months taking, I basically did 10 phone books of problems, because I read this research study on standardized testing, which said the score that you get, so for anybody who has standardized testing that they have to do, maybe you're a tradesman and you need a certification or something, it goes like this, which is score. So this is like score, number of problems. So basically, it was just a direct correlation between the number of problems that you did before taking the test was directly correlated with your score. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, I'll just do all of the problems. And so I did 16, like it was huge. It was like, it was standing on the floor, books of problems, like the really thin Bible paper, thin paper. And so I did 4 hours a day.
Okay, 0 viewers right now, but that's not a problem. I continue learning, and that's what matters, bro. That's what matters. I continue learning, I continue fighting, even if I have no viewers, bro. 70 subscribers, bro. I'm still in 70 subscribers.
Problems for 4 months. That's all I did. I just did problems. And so I got above Harvard's mid-score. And so for me, it was like, this is the only thing that I have to do.
I want 80 subscribers, bro. Please, 80 subscribers, bro. 10 more, bro.
And this is what I care about most. And so they were like, how'd you stay motivated? It was like, I don't know. I just didn't have any other choice because the alternative was something I wasn't willing to do. And I think a lot of people aren't willing to cut things. Like I'd say one of the things that's been, blessed with, if you want to say that, is I'm very willing to cut people and things out of my life very quickly.
I think it's healthy to do that.
And so this is my North Star question that I would encourage people to ask themselves. Does having X in my life increase the chance I hit my goal? That's my North Star question.
It could look like it's slagging off Twitter, but I get it. First of all, I feel a little bit emotional hearing you talk about that. I don't know why that's triggering something in me. Do you know what it is? Because I have the same problem trying to help people have a better life. They kind of got to help themselves. What do you think of this? Like, I think it's Pablo's Cave where people get brought a fish in the cave every day.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And it's easier, right? They don't ever leave the cave because that's what a salary kind of is. The food comes to you every day.
Yeah.
And people have forgotten how fucking amazing it is to go out in the rain with your mates and hunt.
Yeah.
Or go together and make the food, and men and women made food, men and women went out hunting in the old days. But there was no fridge.
Yeah.
There was no get up and eat shit.
Yeah.
There was get up and go out and make shit happen. And you know what it is? I think that, and it's absolutely fine if people don't want to do it, but I don't want people to say they can't be an entrepreneur or they can't sell. I want them to be honest. They can't be bothered.
Yeah.
And I think the key is, and you describe your story, I have a similar story. I love the hunger I have from the deprivation that I had. The Vikings used to land places and burn the boats that got them there.
Yeah.
Then they got no fucking choice.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people need to do. If they really want to do it, they need to burn the boats that got them. They can't go back to the cushy job, that middle class life. That's it.
That's a very important thing, and that's something that Simon speaks about in his book, What's Your Dream? And you need to burn a boat, bro. And so the only path you have is this.
You're in or you're out.
Yeah.
And then, like you say, you got to figure out what you're going to cut out. It's going to give you the goal you want.
So especially in the beginning, you have limited resources, right? You have limited time because you have no leverage. You have no one helping you, and you probably don't have that much money. And so time is the only thing that you have that you really have to be really careful with. And so what are the activities? Does this activity, like drinking, for example, does this increase the likelihood that I hit my goals? That's it. Does it increase the likelihood of my goal? Does having these friends in my life increase the likelihood of hitting my goals? And the answer is usually pretty obvious. It doesn't. And then the thing is that most people are, again, just cowards.
Yep.
Is that they're not willing to just make the cut.
But I'm pretty sure you live the same framework that you did when you were younger. Like, I act like I've got no money. Like I don't.
This is Gucci.
Right,
It's
yeah,
not.
sure. That's what I mean. I think people get comfortable as they grow as well. But I think people, the motivation thing really gets me, because sticking with it, which is the theme around this, is altered down to perhaps limiting your choices, not increasing them. Some people have too many choices.
Yeah.
die on the hill. You know,
Yeah.
like go for it,
Yeah.
and people don't do it. So, okay, getting better. This is
Yeah.
the one step before we get $1 million. So, I'm looking forward to the better. This is
Yeah.
the one step before we get $1 million. So, I'm looking forward to the $1 million in cash.
Yeah.
All right, getting better because I've done all these things. So, hopefully, a big suitcase of money's coming my way. Get better.
So I'll describe a process that I do, and it's all based on action. So I define work, right, as volume times leverage, which is how much you do and how much you get for each time you do it, because that equals output. Which, if you're looking at this transitive property, work equals output. So it's not about how hard you try. It's about which, if you're looking at this transitive property, work equals output. So it's not about how hard you try. It's about what you get done. And if you have more leverage, you get more done. Now, if you do a lot of work, so I'll give you a simple example. So if we're learning sales, right? So if I start cold calling and I do 100 calls a day, and I have low skill, then I will have low leverage. I'm going to get fewer appointments than somebody who makes the same amount of calls as me and has high skill. They'll book 5 times the appointments as I will. So did they work more? In my world, yes, they had higher output. And so a lot of times it's like you have to learn how to work. But the thing is that how did that guy who is good get good? He did volume. He did a lot. And so then it's like, okay, if this is our equation for output in terms of getting better, and the getting better part is going to be leverage. This is a constant. You have to do work. You have to do volume. Okay. So we start with the doing, which is the volume. Cool. So we have that first. And so whatever it is, so let's say I want to start making, Instagram reels. Fine. I want to get good at Instagram reels. So it's like, great. So I'm going to make 100 Instagram reels. And this is the part that people don't even do this, but let's assume that you did this. Okay. So you do the 100 Instagram reels. People then say, well, I did 100 and nothing happened. It's like, okay. So then what we do is we look at our 100. Let's say this is, the 100 reels that we did. We say, what's different about these? About these top ones? These top ones did better. And what's different about these?
Singers do this all the time, don't they? They put a music out all the time. 60% of Adele's songs never went in the top 10 or something.
Oh, really?
So yeah, this is that they also do it.
And so then once we figure out, and this is where you have to be as detailed as possible. And a lot of times you'll start having almost superstitions. It's like, okay, I coughed at the beginning of this call. Well, that was different. Well, did all of your top 10 calls, did you cough? Well, no. Okay, then disregard that. So you run something called a common factors analysis, which is just saying, what do all these ones have in common? What do these ones all have in common with each other, but that's different than all of these ones? And so once we do that, we say, okay, so my next 100 that I do, I want them to look like this. And then all of a sudden it's like, I got 30% better on my total views by just doing more of the stuff that worked.
Yep.
And so this process you just do for like 10 years. And you just keep doing it over and over again. I mean, like the first YouTube, video that I did, I think probably had like, 100 views or whatever it was. And for anybody who's listening to this, like Simon had a big business, but I'm assuming that when you started, you had 0 subscribers when you started your account. Right.
Course.
And so did I across all platforms. And so people have this idea that like everyone starts at 0. And I'll also give you this other kind of word of encouragement, which is there's a huge media narrative around the idea that like millionaires and billionaires are evil. I don't know why, but there is. And so what's interesting about that, if you look, at least in the US, the statistics are that the overwhelming majority of millionaires and billionaires are self-made, not inherited. And so it's like, okay, wait, if the majority of them are self-made, then that means they all started at 0. And so they had the same thing. So let's say they didn't have a lot of money.
I actually think starting at 0 is a competitive advantage.
Oh yeah, we have nothing to lose.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone with 0, you think you don't realize that you've got an advantage.
So you have no money and all you have is time. And that means that you're in the exact same position as every self-made millionaire and billionaire when they started. And the only difference is that right now you're a self-made poor person. It's just that no one likes to claim it.
Yeah. By the way, self-made doesn't exist because everyone had help.
Oh, for sure. No.
But you conceptually,
in terms of starting here.
Yeah, with no, you can have nothing and still make it.
Yeah.
Do you know what's really interesting about this for people listening as well? Like, I've invested in 78 companies. I know you've invested in a lot of businesses as well. Sometimes too much money can destroy a business. Like
Well,
I've
yeah.
seen people like WeWorks, for example. Their biggest problem was they never thought about actually making
Work.
destroy a business. Like
Well,
I've
yeah.
seen people like WeWorks, for example. Their biggest
We work. Oh, the story of that business is amazing, bro. And Apple made us complete serious about that story, bro. And was, oh, bro, that story was amazing, bro. And was very interesting story about work. And was wow. It's a very interesting story and also a very good theory.
problem was they never thought about actually making money. Just kept, their business was raising money.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that that's another thing people don't really quite grasp. But getting better, I mean, do you think there's a mental framework to help people get better? Because I mean, even myself, right?
I really recommend you that series. WeWork, bro. It's on Apple TV, and it's an amazing series.
I'm pretty good at business. I've had to get better to compete.
Yeah.
But is there a framework for getting better as a human? Like, do you think?
As a human being, not as a business person?
You know, I think they're linked. But what do you?
Well, I mean, I really 100% live on that common factors analysis thing.
Okay.
So if I look at, so I'll tell you how I lived my whole life. So like when, so I really did this, which was the thing that started this was I was 21 or 22. And this is my first job out of college. And I remember I had a really good weekend. And I was just like in a good mood, came in on Monday, and my boss was like, hey, what's going on? I was like, I just had a good weekend. And she said to me this line that it kind of like hit me. She said, I'm pretty sure stringing as many days in a row like that as you can is the secret to living. Mm. And what it did though is it took this amorphous idea of like joy, contentment, purpose, and just made it really tactical. It was like, okay, how do I live as many days in a row as I can of days that I like? So I looked back at like last year and I said, okay, what were the days that I liked the most? What were my top 10% days? Well, the things that I had in common is I worked out. Okay, cool, I did that. I ate with people I like, ate with friends. And then I worked until I had nothing left.
That's exactly my framework.
And so if I do these three things, then if I do that on all my days, then more of my days will look like that. And so the majority of my days now feel like what used to be top 10% days. And so obviously these are different for other people. It might be playing music, it might be whatever your thing is. But that common factors analysis, and it's like, okay, what are the top 10, Layla and I've gone on 100 dates. Yeah. Okay, the top 10 dates, what do they have in common? Okay, well, Alex.
Have you done that? Have you actually
Alex got flowers.
your
I think about all of it, yeah.
How do we make dates better? It's brilliant.
Alex got flowers, right? He got flowers. He had a gift.
Is this coming from her side? She tells you?
Pre-planned, no. He had pre-planned something.
Right. She's told you her list. That's
Notes.
Brilliant.
I wrote some sort of note, right? And we dress up. And so those are the things that are like, this is my recipe for making good dates. And so it's like a lot of times it's like no one just takes the look back and says, okay, but it's because they don't start with the I did stuff. That's the first step. Like you got to do the 100 reps. You got to make the 100 posts. You got to make the 100. You got to make the 100 cold calls. You got to make the 100 sales, and you got to record them. And that's the other piece. Like you have to be able to record it. Whatever to the greatest degree possible. You have to recall what were the details. And so then you look, you see the common factors. It's like, all right, well, I'm going to only do those 5 next time. And by randomness, because life happens there's variables that are out of our control. Again, there's going to be another top 10% in the next 100 dates. And we're like, okay, so in those days, not only did I do these 5 things, but we had a driver. Was a big difference. And there was a surprise element for some of these. And at a certain point, the thing is the improvement is going to go like this, right? Just like that sales thing. The first time you do this, your dates are going to get way better, right? And then after that, though, the dates are going to get incrementally better. But all that happens is like, man, people are going to be like, how do you have such a healthy relationship? You're like, all I did was I just looked at the stuff that worked and I just stopped doing the stuff that didn't. And I just did it over and over and over again.
Amazing, Alex. Yeah. Honestly, you're an amazing human being. I love this. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're off to have some chicken now. We'll see you later.
Okay, what an amazing video, bro. With a lot of information. High value, bro. It was amazing. This information was amazing. It was amazing, bro. Okay, is all for today, bro. All for today. So thank you so much for watching this video with me, for watching this stream also. Right now we are 70 subscribers, bro. Yo, I'm gonna keep fighting. There are only 356 days left. 356 days left to make $1 million. So stick around because I'm going to make $1 million in just 1 year and prove everyone that it's possible and dreams to come true. So I'm going to prove that it's really possible to make $1 million in just 1 year if you stay focused, if you fight for your dreams, and if you go all in and post every day, go live every day, learn every day, and apply what you learn, because the most important thing is apply what you learn. So what can I apply right now? What can I apply right now is, okay, view the analytics of my videos, and okay, my video is working for these reasons, okay, because and we already tried that in a video. And yesterday I was speaking with the person that is helping me with all the videos and all the stuff, and we're watching at the analytics, we're looking at the analytics. So we're watching at the videos and looking at the analytics, and okay, we make a plan to see, okay, this video is working because these reasons. Okay, and we already analyzed some of my videos in past streams and previous streams, and we noticed that one of the things that could be a reason is because I show my face, and the videos in which I show my face very relaxed, very calm, that video got more views or something like that. And when I do crazy face, isn't working. But I also said that I will try to make videos doing crazy face, just to look if the problem is the thumbnail or if the problem is the content of the video, because the problem could be either the thumbnail or the content, either thumbnail, content. So I need to analyze that. What's the problem? Is the content of the video or is the thumbnail? And you can see that if you look at retention time. You look at retention time, the engagement, and for what period of time people watch your video, and you can see all that information in analytics. And that's what I'm doing right now. With this last point that Alex and Simon were speaking about, I can try this, I can apply this right now. For the next videos I can apply that information. So I can view my analytics, and let's see, okay, these 3 videos, one of the things I noticed is that video number 3 and number 6 that I posted were the ones that have more views and retention. I remember it was retention, but that engage more people that aren't my followers. So people that are not following me were very engaged with that type of video. So was very important, so I can get more followers. So with the video 3 and number 6, so I can look at what is working, what is not working, and try to replicate that for my future videos. For now, that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. 70 subscribers. I really hope to have 80 subscribers for tomorrow. So if you are not subscribed, please subscribe bro. Please subscribe. I need to be the most viral person on the internet in order to make $1 million. So subscribe, bro. Subscribe, please. Please, 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 please. Subscribe. Okay? Thank you so much. And just remember that you only have one life, one chat.
Indication trend. So you can see it's another thing that we can